everyone, so I know it's been like a really long time since I've done a live video on my page, and normally this page is like my personal page that I try to have it for like dance things, acting things, different stuff like that, but every once in a while I will post like political things that always stir up drama and problems, and yeah, just to like see how they're going and everything. But so I'm glad to be on here again. It's been, like a year or something since I've done a live video. This video is going to be kind of long, so stay as long as you guys want. And it would be cool if you just like share the video, even if you don't agree with what I'm going to say and stuff like that. But if you do, cool. And then make sure you leave comments, and you can like leave your opinion, and I'll be able to respond to them at the end of like what I kind of wanted to talk about. So first of all, I just want to say like Happy International Women's Day. Yay. It's really cool. As a lot of you guys know, I'm in Mexico City right now, and I've been living here for a while now, like 7 months. So it's International Women's Day all over the place, in the US, here, everywhere, right? So it's really, really nice. So what I did today was I went downtown, which is like called Zócalo, or El Centro, and I saw like all of the riots going on. They call it here manifestaciones, which is like a manifestation or demonstration, things like that. So that's what I went to go check out. I went a little bit later because I didn't want to be in the middle of all the hecticness. There was, let me tell you, it was crazy today. But I mean, it's for a good cause, and it's meaningful, so that's what matters, right? But the aftermath, I basically walked through the aftermath, and it looked like doomsday. I took some videos, and I do want to upload them eventually on Instagram and on my Facebook page, because it really looked like doomsday when you were walking through it. It was so scary, but I understand, like I get the frustration. So it's not like the women are to blame for destroying the entire city, but it is like a different way to approach the problem. So here in Mexico City, what they're doing, and I don't know if this has happened in the United States, but I don't think that I've really participated in it. But so what they do here is for International Women's Day, Día de la Mujer, Tiempo de la Mujer, is they are actually canceling all of activities like school, work, jobs, everything for the whole day. So today's International Women's Day, but tomorrow is when they're going to be demonstrating, because a lot of people don't work on Sundays, especially here in Mexico. Like a lot of people don't work. So on Monday, tomorrow, is when they're going to be actually demonstrating this and protesting. And it's so interesting to me because I've never participated in something like this. I have school tomorrow, and I go to 2 different schools, and then I also have like a dance class and then practice and stuff. So I'm going to participate because all the girls are telling me like you have to participate. You can't show up. So it's basically like the movie, I don't know if you guys have seen it, Day Without a Mexican. Well, this is a day without a woman. So the country can see this is what your life would be like if you didn't have us in it. And so maybe you can just have a visual of like, this is what it's going to be like if we didn't exist. So like I have one school normally in the morning. They canceled all classes. We're not expected to go, and we're not penalized if we don't show up, and we're not supposed to show up because it can get crazy on the streets and violent and dangerous. So you're just like not supposed to leave your house. And then like my next classes, there's a lot of like guys and girls, so I'm not sure if the guys are going to be going, probably, but the girls, yeah, they're not expected to show up, and then we won't be penalized for missing those classes. And then like I'm supposed to be giving classes and taking practices in the night, but I'm also not going to those either. And then hopefully like there are men who are going to be supporting it to show, hey, I support these women, and I support the cause, and I support the message, and I'm also not going to show up. I think this is like a very peaceful way to do it, and it's a great visualization of hey, this is like what it's gonna be like, or this is what it's like without a woman in your life, or without us at work, or whatever it may be, because like we obviously need each other to properly work in this life, and we need to just like have more love and peace in this world. All right, so I guess my point is, though, today I don't know if the situation was handled so correctly with how the demonstrations were taking place, because the women were, like, I took the metro, the public transportation, which is like a subway system in New York City, and the girls had like tagged all over all of the buses, because at the beginning of the buses, it's mostly for women, or it's only for women, children, or disabled people. And they had tagged all of the things with graffiti, like paint. And, that's like a great way to demonstrate. I mean, it's vandalizing public property, but at least you're getting a message across. The only thing was like the things that they were saying, and the things that they were putting, of course they were all in Spanish, but it was saying things like if you violate me, like you should get your thing cut off, like stuff like that. Or if like you molest or rape a kid, you should die, like we should kill you. Just very harsh things. And I completely understand. And like, obviously if that happened to one of my loved ones or something, like, of course I would feel so frustrated where I'm like, wow, I don't want this person to like get away with it, things like that. So I completely understand. But then like you went downtown, you went to Zocalo, and you just see like all of these windows were destroyed on businesses. And there were some like big corporation businesses like Adidas, or what do they have, like Zara here as well. But they also had like small restaurants, small mom and pop restaurants, where it's like tacos and you just want to go to a little taco restaurant and stuff like that. And they had destroyed their windows as well. And like glass, so it was like just glass shattered all over the place. But their point was saying, the girls' points were saying, hey, how can you protect these buildings, these businesses, these monuments, these like the Palacio de Bellas Artes? How can you protect all these places, but you can't protect the women that have been murdered and raped and abused, physically, verbally, things like that? How can you put more weight on these physical items that don't have like sentimental value necessarily, and like their buildings, materialistic things, but on a woman's life, it doesn't matter to you. So I completely understand that, because the cops were all lined up protecting these buildings, but then the girls were kind of like going back and forth with the cops, kind of like spitting on them and doing different things. So it's like, okay, well, there is a way to demonstrate, and you need to get your point across, I understand. But is the best way to disrespect authorities, because then maybe they don't take you as seriously, you know what I mean? So that was just like an interesting sight to see. It was, like I said at the beginning, it was so scary, kind of just like walking down, but like you also feel that sense of pride and just like super orgulloso, like you're just super happy of like, okay, no, I understand what they're doing, like, and I'm a part of this, and I support the movement, and I don't want to see like another woman dead, or don't want to see another woman abused physically or raped or molested. Like, you don't want to see these things anymore, and you want these things to improve. But I mean, we have come a long way, though. If you look back 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, we have come such a long way that I don't feel like we should be ruining the voice that we now have to speak out against these things. And I know there's like a lot more violence here in Mexico than there is compared to the United States. But like I said, there's just a way to go about these things. So I just like wrote some notes down right here on my iPad, just like looking at them so I can just make sure I don't forget anything. So like I said, there isn't enough government support or police support, authority support. Like if a woman was to be like reporting a crime with domestic violence, like sometimes they don't even report the cases. So it's like, okay, well, are you really there to help me? Or if a rapist does go to court and like the jury does find them guilty, or they take a plea bargain, a plea deal, they can get 5 years, 10 years max, like the sentences are very light, and I totally agree with that. But you can't wish death on these people, these rapists, I guess, these abusers, only for like the fact that it's not a great solution, wishing death on somebody else. Because, most rapists have been raped or beaten as a child. And it's sad because it's usually by like family members or, like uncles, brothers, dads, stepdads. And they've just suppressed all of that pain and anger that it just turns into a cycle. It happened to them, so that's why they go and commit those things on other people, on people who are weaker than them, which is children or women who are not so strong. Like, that's why it happens. So I was thinking about this like when I'm on the metro just by myself, just like in my thoughts, when I was walking around downtown, just like seeing this scary sight. And it's like, I totally agree. I totally understand. Things need to be better. Things need to change. No one else needs to die. No one else needs to be raped. But I think we need to open the discussion and look at it also from a different angle versus like not punishment, but like what we need to have like therapy sessions, counseling, psychiatric help in schools. Like this is one of my propositions, in schools for children under 8 years old, because I guess a lot of therapists say over the age of 8 years old, those ways are so embedded in your thoughts and your mentality, whether it's like domestic violence or sexual abuse, things like that. Those things are so embedded in your mentality and just like how you think the norm is, like that's what's normal, that after 8 years old, it's so hard to change those things. But any little kid under 8 years old, like they're such innocent little babies that how are they going to know, what, I need to go to an adult, I need to go tell somebody this, blah, 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 because this is a problem and it needs to be fixed. Well, no, but if you have a counselor, a psychologist, a therapist in schools, mandatory, giving like the kids, what are they called? Like analysis and tests to see, hey, this is what the problem is. Okay, this kid, this happened. And maybe they're not admitting it, but like you can see the signs. There's always signs that you can tell if this has happened to a kid. And then if you do need to do like rape kits or kits for bruises and stuff like that, to avoid cases like, I know a lot of people have seen the Netflix series on Gabriel Fernandez. Poor baby, rest in peace. Like his birthday has just passed, I think yesterday, today. So it's like, you don't want those things to happen. You don't want these children to be dying. You don't want women to be dying for these things. But there's always a root to the problem. And we need to focus on solving that root to the problem. And obviously it's not going to be solved in the household, in the home. So since these children are at school 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, I feel like that would be a perfect time, because they're away from their parents for that long, or they're abusers, to be like, hey, is something going on? Can we help you? Can we make things better? Like, report it, take those kids out of that household so the abuse can stop. But then you have the foster care system, which I know like families and stuff who have adopted, and the kids come from those systems, and I mean the same exact thing happens. Their foster parents are the abusers as well. They beat the kids, sexually abuse them. It's like the norm, especially in the United States, because there is no really foster care system in Mexico. Like that doesn't really exist. So that's like more referring to the United States, that the same cycle is going to happen. So maybe have like more, tests, like analysis, psychiatric tests of also the foster people who are applying for the application. So that way they're just not getting this money, and they're not doing it just for the money, just for the paycheck, for the EBT cards or whatever they receive, but they're doing it because they really want to help. And I mean, it's a great system that we have, that there are people willing to do it, but it's just that the same exact problems that these kids were removed from, they get placed right back in, and that just doesn't make sense to me. So there has to be like some focus on like the little kids who have received all of this abuse from family members, from non-family members, that we can just try to figure out the source of the problem, and then like help give them therapy and the right resources and the support that they need, that somebody's actually there who cares about them, because I'm sure they feel like, you know, nobody in this world like is there supporting me. So that was like one of my things that we need to work on. And then an unpopular opinion that I know maybe doesn't sound like I'm on the women's side of the march, but I am. It's just that I feel like we need to stop enabling the behavior, the machismo, the mandon, it's like a machista mentality that we have. I feel like we kind of are enabling it, right? Because like I've seen firsthand family members, like my family members, and then family of friends that I have as well, where the grandmas and the moms or great grandmas or whoever are enabling the behavior of the boys, whether it's like as a young age or even now. Like a recent story was, I heard a grandma talking about her one of her grandsons, and like he had just quit his job. He's like kind of not knowing what he's doing with his life next. He has a passion, but it's not like he's really pursuing that passion. And he's like, and she was just speaking so highly of him to one of her comadres, one of her friends. And she was like, yeah, he's great. Like, he's such a good kid. He's doing good things. He had a good job, blah, blah, blah. And then she started talking about her granddaughter. And she was like, oh, is she still like being lazy around the house? Is she still doesn't know how to cook? She still doesn't know how to clean, right? Is she even taking care of her child very well? And I'm just like, that's also your granddaughter. How could you talk about her like that? The way, like, and not in the way that you were talking about your grandson, who's like not even doing the greatest things in the world. So how do you put him at such a high standard? You know what I'm saying? And there's just like different stories like that. That's just like a tiny example. I remember like when I was a kid, there was like a person who would always pick on me, a boy obviously, who would always pick on me and stuff, and like their family would never scold them and tell them, hey, like what you're doing is not right, you need to leave her alone. Like, it's okay to like play here and there, but like be so rough where you're acting like, okay, it's another boy, like physically body slamming. I don't know, like I'm exaggerating, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, those kinds of things, they need to be handled at that age when it's happening. Like, hey, you can't be that rough with your little person who's in your life, whoever it may be, like your little brother or sister, cousin, whatever it is. You can't be so rough with them. They're 5 to 6 years younger than you. Like, that's not how you treat a little person, especially not a little girl. I mean, not a little boy either, but still, like, that's just not how you treat somebody. You need to have respect with them. I didn't grow up with brothers, but like, I know with how my mom and my grandma raised me, I'm sure they would have held the boys to the same standard, like as far as my sibling goes, as myself. Like, this is how you act, this is how you need to respect yourself, others, things like that. But I didn't really grow up with that many guys in my life, so I mean, like little boys, so it didn't happen. But I just know like these boys, you know, at a young age are not held to the same standard. They're held, like, put on a pedestal as compared to the women or the little girls. So that was like another point I had. Let's see, just looking at my notes, like what else I was talking about. Yes. Okay. So we also, like I said, we can't enable the men to think that they can do whatever they want with us as adults, because now it's like we move past the core problem, but now we're all adults, and these people have been living with this problem, not receiving help or therapy. And yeah, maybe it is their fault. Like, hey, you should be getting therapy if that happened to you. But it's just so hard to like express your truth and like to come forward with things like that because it hurts. There's so much trauma and so much pain that it hurts. And sometimes it's just not an easy thing to do. So I understand that. But we can't enable men to think like you can just do whatever you want with us because our bodies are your playground and this is how I'm presenting myself. This means that we have to have respect, as women for ourselves first, right? And like I'm guilty of this too. I've done like backup dancing and stuff, and you wear the small little outfits because, well, that's what people want to see. That's what the singer wants to see or whatever. But it's like I'm enabling that treatment. Like, hey, I want you to wear this, this, and this. Like I didn't choose the wardrobe, so it's like, well, I could say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable wearing that. Can I wear something more covered up? So, that's like enabling and giving into like that idea where, oh, my body's here to serve a man. And like selling that idea of sex with your body, And I don't know. That's not maybe like the best way to make a point and to prove a point and to make a difference and to improve. But I know like the movement right now is like, wear whatever you want, walk around naked if you want. It doesn't give the abuser the right to abuse you, to sexually assault you. It doesn't give them the right. Obviously, like I'm not saying that. I'm not I'm not like agreeing with them. Like, oh, you're proposing, hey, I want you to hurt me. I want you to sexually assault me because I'm wearing this. No, not at all. Of course not. Like I wouldn't ever say that. But it's just like, are you wearing those things because you want to be comfortable? Because, I mean, we wear high heels and booty shorts and we wear makeup, but it's not really comfortable attire. Like, are you really wearing that for yourself? Or is there some part of you that is trying to impress somebody else, whether it be a guy or not? You know what I mean? Because, like, here I've noticed, like, the girls are very put together, like always makeup, hair done, cute little outfits and high heels. And I'm like, how do you walk around going on the metro, doing public transportation like 2 hours a day, and you're wearing those things? Like, are you really comfortable? Are you really wearing that because like that's how you feel the most confident? Or are you wearing that because like you have to make a point in saying, oh yeah, I put myself together, I'm a put together person, like this is who I am, this is how I feel most confident, It's just another side of it. I know it's an unpopular opinion, like on the women's side of it, but I know it's like, it has to be said because, it has to be said. And then like you go into this world where, like the world that I work in, which is mostly dancing and acting, and I've heard many stories like this is still on the rant of saying like we need to respect ourselves as women and we need to have respect for ourselves and our bodies first before the men are going to even think about respecting us, because they have their problems and their issues too. Like in the acting scene and the dance scenes, I've seen this a lot and I've heard stories about this a lot, and I think it's so interesting that directors and teachers will always try to have like sexual relations with their new students because the new students don't know who they are. Okay, wait, sorry. I'm getting comments. Hola, Judy. Si hablo un poquito español, me iba a hablar en español diciendo sobre lo que estoy hablando a rato, pero mi español no es tan perfecto, entonces, pero si quedas al final del video, sí voy a explicar un poquito en español, o voy a tratar lo más que puedo. Entonces, si quieres y puedes quedar para el resto del video, por favor, quédate y voy a explicar un poquito en español también. Gracias por ver y si puedes compartir el video, lo agradezco mucho y pones un like. Gracias. Okay, so I was just saying really quick that I'm going to explain some of this in Spanish because I know I have a lot of Spanish speakers. Well, not a lot, but I have some Spanish speakers who are followers and friends of mine on Facebook. So I wanted to translate just a little bit of what I'm talking about right now at the end because I'm in Mexico City and I'm talking about mostly like how the Mexico movement is working right now. So, sorry, I was just saying that in Spanish. Okay. So like I was saying, like in the dance scene and the acting scene, which is like the more things I'm dedicated to and I work in, yeah, I've seen teachers who are like, hey, to new students, like, hey, they're trying to have sexual relations with you, they're trying to hook up with you, and it's happened to me where, like, people will approach me like that, guys will approach me like that, and I'm just like, wait, are you actually serious? Like, that's what you want? I thought, like, you thought I was a good dancer, and that's, like, where my mind was, but their mind was somewhere else. And then they'll offer me like, oh, you can be a part of my team, or I'm going to be doing these projects, they might be paid, blah, 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 and you're just like, okay, like, that sounds great. And then they try to pursue and insist on the sexual acts, and then I don't comply with that, and I don't proceed with that, and then they're just like, oh, nowhere to be found on Messenger, they're not going to be talking to me, they're not going to hire me for that gig or whatever, because I didn't comply and I didn't fall into that thing of like, oh yeah, whatever the sexual favor may be, whatever it is, I didn't do that. And so it's like, you know, that saying where it's like climbing up the ladder, but you use your body to do it basically. And it sucks because like I'll see other girls in other projects that I've auditioned for or on teams that I've danced with and stuff, and they get priority, they get preference in choreographies or in movies or on commercials and different things, and it's because they've had these relations with these directors or these teachers. And I'm like, that doesn't support the movement, does it? Of, hey, women, we need to respect ourselves, we need to command and demand respect of men and authorities and the government, but also, like, I'm gonna sell my body and I'm gonna say it's okay because I have the right to sell my body, or it's my body, I can choose what I want to do with it. But are you respecting it? Like your temple, are you respecting it? And are you enabling them, or are you enabling them? That's what I mean. Because then when other women come along and they don't want to partake in those situations, they're punished. They're not allowed to climb the ladder. They're not pushed up in you know, the hierarchy because they didn't comply with the demands of the directors or the teachers that other women have complied with. So it's just like this fine line of, I understand and I get the hurt and frustration, like we don't want any more women dying or being assaulted, but we also need to have that respect for ourselves. And then that goes into my next point, is like having respect for each other, because, you know, I've had so many experiences as well where it's like I've received so much hate from other women, more hate from women than men, and it's like, are you part of like the women's movement of, as a people, like growing stronger as a community and uplifting each other, if you're like bashing other girls and women in your life that you've come across? And so there's just this line of like, we can't be hypocrites, you know? We can't do that to each other. We have to uplift each other and we have to like move forward together. So another point, you know, just like we have to be strong and resist the peer pressure. We can't cave into the peer pressure of the authorities, of men, of the government, things like that. Like we can't cave in and we can't give into peer pressure. We can't settle and let them think that it's okay that that I do these things because I want to climb up the ladder. You know what I mean? Like, I can treat her this way because she's going to do that, because she wants to get paid, or she wants to be the movie star, or she wants to be one of the directors of this dance group. So I'm going to continue doing this so I can find other girls or other victims who will also be okay with this, because I've done it before, so I can do it again. Or if you're like in a domestic violence situation, when you're staying with the partner who's like hurting you after the first time that he hurts you, and you're staying, are you enabling those actions, that treatment? Are you saying like it's okay? And so in his mind, maybe he's thinking like, oh well, she stayed with me the first time, so she is gonna stay with me, but it's not okay, and I know it's not okay, and I'm not gonna receive help. You know what I'm saying? Because she's going to continue to love me. And so, just like in conclusion, I guess my solution is just to have like children go through mandatory counseling to avoid these problems from happening in the future, and then go through, mandatory counseling, and have like domestic and sexual abusers receive like 10 times the counseling when they have to go to the programs after a report has been filed on them. So after a woman has reported like the act and like he's been sent to jail, they do have to go to counseling and things like that. But I don't know, something's not working, because when they get out, they recommit, or like there's they murder the women that they're with, their wives and stuff. So it's like, okay, clearly this counseling isn't helping, so we need to like revise the program to be like, hey, you know what, we need better counseling and things like that. And then, we have to have stricter laws against offenders, because it's not okay that they only receive 5 years for hurting a child or killing a woman. Like, that's not okay. You should receive life in prison, but maybe with the possibility of parole. Like, that's your window to be like, okay, maybe I have gotten better because you're receiving counseling and psychiatric help in jail. Like, obviously having, these better programs, not just like sitting there doing nothing, but improving yourself and really trying to be a better person, because I don't want girls to want people, these men, these abusers, dead, but I understand where they're coming from. They just killed my sister or my mom or my friend, so of course you want them dead, because you just have so much anger and rage inside of you, and you want, like revenge or whatever. But that's not the solution. Like, that's not going to make this world a better place. You're just inflicting more pain to others, like their family members and things like that. So it's like, you just have to keep that in mind, that you have to see always both sides to the story. And then most importantly, like I said, we have to respect ourselves and support our sisters, our community, our women in this world. And we have to respect each other. We have to uplift each other. We can't, be envious and jealous of other girls, because it's like, that doesn't spread love in this world. It doesn't help us grow as a community. And like I said, with the demonstrations and stuff, like, I understand you coming at it with violence. I get that side of it. But it was something to see, I guess you can compare it to maybe the alley riots. I know from like photos and textbooks I've seen and videos, I feel like there was more fire involved. But even here, there was fire. They like burned down the Mexico flag in El Centro. And so it was crazy. And then another point is like, never be ashamed to share your truth. And I feel like that comes like, that's like a big issue, because like these abusers and victims of domestic abuse, sexual abuse, things like that, things that they've seen in their life, even if it was just their parents who were always fighting, like physically fighting, that also traumatizes you too. But if you're not able to talk about that, if you're not able to share your truth, you can't heal until you throw everything that's on your mind, in your heart, in your soul. You can't get better until you release all of it. Whether you have to cry it out, work it out, but or talk, to a therapist, a counselor, you have to get out your truth before you could heal and move forward. And, a lot of people have healing to do. And I'm one of them. And so it's like, we need to heal ourselves in order to be better people of like ourselves, so we can be that better person for the world. I know like Will Smith says something like that, like, I have to love myself first before, or I think something like that, where it's like, you have to be the best version of yourself. You can't expect your wife or your husband to be that best version of you or to like to make you feel loved. You have to feel loved. It's something like that. I know I'm butchering it really bad, but like, you get what I'm saying. Also, one more point is just like enabling, like I said, enabling the problem. Like, if you want to talk government terms, is like, with the presidential election coming up in the United States, it's like, as a woman, and all of the accusations that are true, but sometimes they don't go through in court or whatever, of Donald Trump like sexually assaulting people and stuff, which are definitely true, and you vote for him or you support him, like, you're still enabling the cause. Like, you're still enabling people in power to continue to do what they do, which is disrespect, belittle, and demean us. And have like enough respect for yourself to be like, yeah, I'm not gonna vote for somebody who supports that or who does those things and is trying to run a country. Like, that does have a big thing to do with it, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of the women here are saying the president here, Manuel Lopez Obrador, I don't know his name, AMLO, that he is also like that too. He's not making it a big enough problem to protect the women here. And so it's like, there are so many people in authority figures who are not doing the right thing, and I understand that, and laws need to be changed and things need to be tightened to make things better. But just like going back onto it, like, we need to love ourselves, have respect for ourselves, and like, that goes for men too. And share your truth. Like, if there's just something so traumatic that you need help with, like, get the help you need. And like, no one's going to judge you for it, because what happens to you as a child and stuff, like, that's not your fault, and you're not to blame for that. But not seeking the right help and then committing things as an adult, like, you are responsible for that. So I don't want like the worst punishment in the world, which would be death, but just things need to be better. And I don't know, I really think it's like something good to see, to walk downtown in Zocalo today, and it was such an eye opener, and like, I also got emotional, and I took videos of things that were going on, and because it's so sad, like, you don't want somebody you know or somebody you love to get hurt or murdered or assaulted or things like that. Like, you don't want that to happen, but it does happen. It happens every day, and we just need to work all together, men and women, communities, to make things better. But yes, so happy International Women's Day. I'll be protesting tomorrow, so I won't be attending school and stuff like that, or my classes, to prove my point that, this is what your life will be like without a woman. And for all the voices that were not heard, for all the women who were silenced because they were killed, like, this is for them, and we don't want it to continue happening, and we don't want it to happen anymore. Okay, so voy a contar lo que dijo en inglés, un poquito en español. Mi español no es tan perfecto, pero estoy en la ciudad ahorita, entonces quería practicar un tantito, porque pues yo sé que muchos o algunos en mi página no habla español o no habla inglés, entonces no entiende lo que estoy diciendo. Entonces, perdóname por mi español, que está un poquito mal, pero voy a tratar de explicar un poquito rápido también sobre lo que estoy hablando. Entonces, hoy fue el día de del mujer. Entonces, feliz Día de las Mujeres a todas que me están viendo. Y aquí en la ciudad, en México, había unas manifestaciones todo el día, desde la mañana hasta ahorita, creo, que están en las calles. Y aquí en el Zócalo, en el centro, yo fui solo porque yo quería ver cómo están las cosas, qué está pasando y cosas así. Entonces, cuando me fui, me bajé del metro allá y yo estaba caminando, y cuando yo llegué fue después de las manifestaciones. Entonces, sí había mucha gente, muchas mujeres ahí, pero no tantos, y ya terminó el desmadre que pasó en el centro. Entonces, cuando yo estaba caminando, estaba un poquito oscura, y, y había un sentido muy como miedoso y como espantoso, porque se veía como Doomsday, ¿no? Porque había vidrios rotos, había tanta policía militar, seguridad por todas partes. Entonces yo estaba mirando en todas partes como que, no manches, ¿qué pasó aquí? Como que sí, sí hicieron su punta, ¿no? Las chicas que estaban manifestando. Sí demostraron que aquí estamos, sí vamos a hacer esto con violencia, porque eso es la única manera que ustedes, la policía, el gobierno, nos van a escuchar, nos van a ver. Oye, ellas sí tienen algo que decir y están entrando muy fuerte. Entonces creo que sí tenemos que cambiar los leyes, las cosas que pasan en nuestro país para mejorar las cosas. Entonces estaba, no sé, una imagen tan diferente que yo no he visto en mi vida. En Estados Unidos, aquí, en ninguna parte. Yo no he visto algo así tan grave, tan fuerte. Pero me sentía muy orgullosa de ser mujer en ese momento. Pero tan emocionada también, porque es como que, no manches, están luchando tan fuerte para las chicas que ya se fallecieron de cosas muy malos, ¿no? De la violencia. Entonces, también estaba hablando de que vi muchas cosas en no sé cómo decir, los anuncios y en el metro, como en pintura en el metro, diciendo que los hombres tienen que morir, se merecen morir porque ellos están haciendo esas malas cosas de abuso sexual, abuso doméstico, ¿cómo se llama? Ay, no sé cómo decir, pero están asesinados a las chicas y cosas así. Entonces yo, ok, pues entiendo y estoy de acuerdo que está súper mal lo que está pasando, pero yo no creo que esos hombres merecen morir en el cárcel o no sé. No creo que ellos merecen morir. Entonces yo estaba diciendo que se pasa mucho que el abuso, se reciben el abuso de sus papás, de sus abuelitos, de sus padrastros, así se dice. Entonces, cuando están chiquitos, cuando están niños. Entonces, si tú eres un niño y tú recibes ese abuso sexual y cosas así, y cuando tú estás grande, tú no puedes hablar con nadie porque con la sociedad dicen, oye, no puedes decir nada. Ay, perdón. Como que no puedes decir nada porque estás súper raro, estás súper mal si hablas con un terapista, algo así. Entonces no está bien y tú cometes eso, tú haces esas cosas malas cuando eres adulto, es como que, ok, pues sí es tu responsabilidad porque no buscaste ayuda para ser una mejor persona, para sacar todos tus traumas y cosas así. Entonces es como que, ¿qué hacemos? Porque sí es tu culpa, pero no mereces morir en el cárcel y cosas así. Entonces, es como un punto de que, ok, no sabemos en qué, cómo voltear las cosas, como que estoy de acuerdo con las mujeres porque soy mujer y pues obviamente tengo que ser de acuerdo, pero también ellos no merecen morir y eso es mi punto, de que, y después también estaba diciendo que, de que también nosotras tenemos que respetar a nuestros cuerpos, ¿no? Y ser las cosas en una manera con respeto, porque si nosotras no respetan a nosotras mismas, ¿cómo, cómo vamos a decir, oye, hombres, tú necesitas respetarme? Entonces estaba hablando sobre eso un poquito también, de que los dos tenemos que trabajar en eso, ¿no? Pero no, tampoco estoy diciendo, es mi culpa porque yo estaba enseñando toda, entonces yo merezco que tú me abusas. No, tampoco estoy diciendo eso. Es como ese punto fino en medio de que, ok, ¿en qué lado estamos, no? También estaba hablando de que, porque yo estoy en el mundo de bailarines y de actores y en ese mundo. Y yo he visto muchas veces que los hombres en ese mundo, como que los hombres que dan las clases y los directores, siempre se piden cosas y no, a veces no directo, pero le dicen, ay, tú puedes ser la mejor bailarina, tú puedes estar en mi película y cosas así, pero tienes que, y no te están diciendo, pero están como que haciendo cositas de que, ay, ¿quieres salir conmigo? ¿Quieres hacer esto conmigo? Podemos ir a comer, podemos hacer ciertas cosas. Y eso significa, él quiere hacer sexo contigo y si no lo haces, pues ok, no vas a estar con mi grupo, no vas a estar en esta película y cosas así. Perdón por mi español. Y eso me ha pasado, que hombres me están ofreciendo citas y cosas así. Y cuando yo le digo, ay, no, gracias, no me ofrecen la película, no me ofrecen el comercial, o no me ofrecen, o no me dan el lugar en un coreografía y cosas así. Y yo, no, eso no está bien, porque sí hay chicas que sí hacen esas cosas y ellas, hay una cosita que decimos en inglés pero no sé cómo traducir, pero como que las chicas que sí hacen esas cosas con los directores y los maestros y cosas y gente así, que ellos sí pueden, ellas sí sí están en las películas, sí están en las comerciales, sí están en las coreografías, sí viajan con sí viajan con los directores y cosas así. Ay, no entiendo por qué las chicas están haciendo eso, porque eso se ve mal para nosotras, para todas, porque las que no hacen eso no obtengan ese lugar. Entonces no es justo. Entonces yo estaba hablando de que tenemos que tener respeto para nuestro cuerpo, para nosotras, primera, antes de que los hombres van a tener respeto para nosotras. ¿Sí me explico? Perdón por mi español otra vez. Y también estaba diciendo que no podemos estar en ese, ay, no sé cómo decir en español, pero como que no podemos hacer esas cosas porque los hombres van a decir, si yo puedo hacer eso con ella, puedo hacer eso con todas. Y voy a tratar a hacer eso con todas. Y así es cuando piensan, oye, yo soy el poderoso, yo puedo hacer lo que quiero, yo mando esta y esta. Y eso es el mentalidad de machismo, ¿no? De que estaba hablando en inglés, ¿sí? Entonces, también estaba diciendo que que mi solución es que tenemos que tener para los niños en Estados Unidos, en México, en todas partes, en cualquier país, que este es un gran problema, ¿no? Que tenemos que tener terapia. Los niños tienen que hablar con psicólogos, creo que se llaman psicólogos, y tienen que estar menos de 8 años, porque después de 8 años los terapistas dicen que está muy difícil a cambiar su mentalidad, su mente de, ay, está bien si abuso a mis parejas, está bien, o yo tengo que abusar a niños, porque eso nace de ellos, porque eso es el tratamiento que recibió cuando estaban niños, ¿no? Cuando eran niños. Entonces yo creo que en las escuelas, porque los niños están ahí 5 días por la semana, 7 horas por de día. Entonces, si reciben terapia ahí, podemos ayudarlos con su trauma que tienen, porque en su casa es donde reciben ese trauma. Y para los abusadores sexuales y domésticos y cosas así, tienen que, cuando van al cárcel, sí reciben terapia, pero no creo que está sirviendo, porque salen del cárcel y sigue con las mismas cosas. Y siguen haciendo la misma cosa, o a veces se matan a sus esposas y cosas así. Yo no lo puedo creer, no puedo entender que eso está pasando, ¿no? Entonces tenemos que tener más leyes más estrictas leyes para mejorar las cosas, para mejorar su mentalidad, para tratar de cambiarlos, ¿no? Y mi punto final era que la cosa más importante en la vida es que, no en la vida, pero con este discusión de Día de Mujer, ¿no? Es que tenemos que respetar a nosotras mismas y apoyar a nuestras hermanas, ¿no? Para ser poderosas, así se dice, ¿no? No podemos, no necesitamos esconder nuestra verdad, lo que pasó a todos. Esto va para hombres también. No tenemos que esconder, y no sé la otra palabra, pero es como que no tenemos que sentir pena sobre esas traumas y esas cosas que nos vimos de niño. Y si hablamos de esas cosas y si tratamos de cambiar esa mentalidad y va a los terapistas o habla con alguien que te puede ayudar para sacar todo ese trauma y sacar todo el negativo, podemos ser como que sanos en su mentalidad, en su corazón, en su alma, y van a sentir mejor y pueden seguir adelante, ¿no? Y ojalá no no sé esa palabra. Ojalá no pasa lo mismo, de que con toda esa ayuda en su vida, que no pasa, que el ciclo no se repite. Si tú recibió abuso de niño, tú no tú no haces esas cosas cuando estás grande, ¿no? Y eso es el punto. Y con eso podemos cambiar estas manifestaciones de que, no tenemos que romper romper todo toda la ciudad, porque todo estaba roto y podemos hacer cosas con más paz y más amor, ¿no? Entonces es trabajo de los dos, de los dos lados, de hombre, de mujer, de ley, del gobierno, de las familias, de todo, ¿no? Entonces eso fue mi punto. Ojalá entendiste mi español, espero que entendiste mi español. Yo sé que no está tan bueno, pero sí. Entonces gracias por ver y escucharme. Yes, okay, so I basically just explained in Spanish what I was explaining in English. It's not the best Spanish, but I'm trying. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I know this is like a really, really long video, but if you guys can give it a share, it's just like a different point of view and, like trying to give both sides to the problem and a different solution so we can actually help resolve resolve the problem, that would be, you know, that would be amazing if you guys can share the video. And then give me a like. Yeah. No, but thank you guys so much for watching. I was looking at some of the comments, so if you guys still want to keep commenting, I'll try to respond to the comments if you guys like have your opinions on the subject and everything like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Happy International Women's Day. Feliz Día de la Mujer. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys soon. Bye.